Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I want to be talking about microscopes. So just for context, going back to when I was in college learning jewelry making, we had a very condensed course load. Being that it was condensed, we were lacking in some aspects, more than a few. We shared only 2 Fordham H15 handpieces between 15 students, for example. There was no such thing as a block vise in there. I didn't even know they were a thing. A block vise, by the way, is one of these. You can turn it, it's really useful. And there was, of course, no microscopes in sight except for like optivisors, which are fine, but they only get you so far. I really didn't understand what I was missing out on. Now, I'm not going to dig too much harder because, as I mentioned, it was a condensed course. They really did do a good job. I did have a good time. I learned a lot. But having gotten to where we are now, looking back, it's just hard to imagine how we got by and how much better our experience would have been had we had even the most basic of microscopes. So if you're a student or just graduating or starting your own independent jewelry journey, we want to just clear up some things so that you know that you're in a better place than where I was back when I was in that position. So my first experience with a microscope was actually not this one. That actually is over there. That's the Orion microscope, which comes along with the Orion welder. But recently we added this Vevor scope to the mix, and I have to say I'm absolutely blown away by it. But we'll speak more to that in a second. We're going to start focusing on the Orion one because it has its own merits, and it does have the multi-purposeness that I believe a lot of people who are starting out, or as I said, on that jewelry journey, might be looking forward. If it can do more than one thing, that would be great. It's one thing to buy a vulcanizer, but you can't use a vulcanizer as a panini press, so it does the one thing. So when you can get that use or extra use out of it, it goes a really long way. When I first got this, one of the things that I pitched to Shannon, actually, to justify the cost, because this was not a cheap setup, was that this scope would allow us to do more things. Like I could do engraving under it, I can do stone setting, I can do quality assurance, things like that. So I did quite a bit of research and reading before we locked in the deal with the welder, just to make sure that this microscope was going to be able to do multi-purpose work. So it wasn't just going to be good for welding. The higher end models like the Leica A60, the Meiji EMZ5 feature slightly higher magnification compared to the Orion scope, at about ×7 with variable zoom, and a working distance of about 120 millimeters of working space underneath it. The Orion scope, by comparison, has a ×6 eyepiece lens that naturally come with it, but you can go through Sunstone and get different ones, and a working distance of 110 millimeters, however, no zoom. So we're only lacking about 10 millimeters of space between what you can work on underneath and still be in focus, as compared to one of the higher end ones. So these are really close trade-offs. The big downside though is that it doesn't have zoom. The only way you can really zoom is by using this adjustment knob, which just moves the entire setup up and down. This is usually actually used more for focusing and not so much for zooming as much. You can focus the lenses, the eyepieces separately, I believe, but yeah, that's kind of something this one does lack. Something I do like though is that it does have this very unintrusive LED work light underneath. If I turn it to the side here, you can see that it's very flush with the bottom. You don't have a light ring. You could consider that a pro or a con, in that if the LEDs in this ever go out, it's going to be a lot harder to replace them compared to a separate light ring. However, I do like that this is flush and it's not, in my way. And then of course, separately and uniquely compared to any of the other ones, but irrelevant to engraving or stone setting, would be that this has a built-in shutter for the welder. We're not going to talk too much about that because it's kind of adjacent. It's an extra added on. This microscope is attached to what's called an articulating flex arm. As you can see, it's got great flexibility on the horizontal, meaning I can move it wherever I want. It's also got up and down very easily. I can adjust all of the tensions over here on these bolts on the top, which will give it a little bit more or less resistance. I can also tighten down right in here on this adjustment so that it will go up or down a little bit more firmly or not. I have some adjustment here going side to side, which isn't really helpful. It would be really good if I could adjust this front and back, but I just don't have that capability. Both of the cables that go to the microscope, which are the stylus and this Ethernet port, are conveniently covered up by this little guard sheath thing that kind of organizes the cables away. So that's really nice and clean for the overall bench setup. One of the downsides that I've found with this arm is that when I go to drop it, it will actually only go as far as the surface that it's mounted on. I believe that this is not going to be an issue for 90% of cases out there. But if you have a setup like where I had this previously in our old studio, where I was sitting at a tabletop with another like sub table above it, I had to sit up uncomfortably, stretch and really get up there because this thing wouldn't go lower than that top table. In this case, it's now much too low and I can bring it up. That's exactly what it should be, ideally. But that it can't go lower than that might be a problem for some of you. Each eyepiece is independently adjustable, as you can see there. So if you're not someone who's symmetrically facially gifted, you can adjust these to whatever you need them to be. They're not locked together. So in summary, if you are looking at a welder and you need to justify with your business partner or your wife or husband or whatever, a way of selling the idea that this will do multiple things for you and bring up your business and your capabilities, you can definitely get away by using the Orion as a multi-purpose microscope. As good as the Orion microscope is though, using it for multi-purpose is definitely a step above making do, but there are purpose-built scopes like the one we're going to talk about next that have just little minute changes that make it so much better. Now this microscope from Vevor is better than the Orion in a number of ways. And most obviously that I think we can see is the mounting arm. This arm, by comparison to the flex style arm, is exponentially better. Where the flex arm is very flexible horizontally and it's much lighter weight, I honestly don't think that's really an advantage when it comes to microscope arms. This arm is built like a freaking tank. There's multiple layers at each joint. It has a wide range of height adjustment via this post, which gets screwed into the top of your bench. Each joint loosens via a single handle bolt, but tightens up so well that you can really lean into this thing. Like I can actually just I can push and it's holding me upright. It's really good. I know it's a stupid thing. If you've used a microscope, you're looking at me like I'm an idiot, and that's okay. So compared to the flex arm, I definitely think this is the way to go. And it makes working at the microscope much more comfortable. In my case, I have quite a bit of upper back pain. And what it does for me personally is it allows me to not only have more endurance, because I'm not in so much pain, but it makes me steadier. So when I'm working, it makes me a little bit steadier because I'm able to brace myself, not so much hovering, which is what you have to do for that flex arm. The Orion is, I believe, entirely machined out of aluminum. This Vevor scope is considerably more plasticky. But in terms of performance, I have zero issues with it. The eyepieces are independently focusable, so you can, if you have different focal lengths of your eyes, I guess, I don't know what the right proper term is, you can independently adjust the eyepieces, and to get your pupillar distance, they are actually linked via some kind of gear system thing inside. Honestly, I don't think I'm a huge fan of that. I would prefer it to be like the Orion, where each eyepiece is independent, because if you don't have a symmetrical face, then being able to adjust each one independently just seems like it solves more problems than linking them together does. So just my 2 cents there. And something that is really obvious, honestly, every microscope should have zoom. The Orion does not have any kind of zoom, it is just fixed. All you do is adjust the height, just like this one. You can adjust the height up here, no problem. But this one over here, there's a zoom. Now this is internal, of course. You can't see anything moving. It's all inside. Microscopes should all have zoom. It's just really basic. If you've used a scope before, obviously, I didn't know that it was that important. So I'm able to go from about a ×7 to about a ×40, I believe. And it is astronomically helpful. So looking at this now, I can do like quality control on my castings at like a micro level if I want to. I don't have a great way of showing you through this scope what I see, unfortunately. I do have a macro lens attached to this camera, so we'll see if you can kind of get the right idea. But on this scope, I can see every single voxel. Something else that I really like about the Vevor compared to the Orion is that this is much more in line with those high-end scopes in terms of the focal length, or rather the working distance that I have. I can take the graver and I can work up on end if I need to, for pushing a bezel, pushing a prong all the way over, pushing a bead, whatever I need to do, I can do that. On the Orion, if I'm zoomed in by that, I mean, I've lowered the scope, I tend to bump it a little bit, and I just don't have that problem with this scope. So this gives me complete freedom to see and work as much as I need to. If you are gonna go with the Orion route though, I don't wanna dissuade you from the Orion, because it is still really good. If you're gonna use the Orion, I recommend getting a micro block, something like this size, versus something like this size. That one's 5 pounds, this one's 20 pounds. So it's a bit different. I can't, I believe, work under this one. Oh, actually, you know what? I can. But with the micro block, you definitely can. So I recommend starting with a micro block. Something that the Orion cannot do is adjust the angle. If you see up here, I'm turning this handle bolt, and there's a ball joint down here, which gives me complete freedom to turn this completely 90 degrees if I was to mount the arm over to one side. I don't recommend doing that, by the way. Definitely try to have it as in front of you as possible. But as you can see, it also drops it at an angle, which means I can find a nice comfortable angle at which to work at, and then just simply tighten, and I'm back to work. The LED ring that comes with this microscope is definitely on the cheaper side. However, it does perform really, really well. Via this cord, it goes over to a USB, which I have currently linked to a battery. It's very short. I would like to see that longer if at all possible. But the adjustment level, the brightness level is really, really good. It can go down to borderline nothing to all the way up to very, very bright. And that's very important because when you're working with stones, you don't want to get blinded. My big and possibly only wish when it comes to the Orion or the Vevor would be if they could make a trinocular. Trinocular basically means that we've got these ones and then a third single one up the top. Traditionally, you attach a camera to that so that you can then have it go off to a TV screen like I have up on my wall, or to a monitor or whatever. If you're a teacher, as I've mentioned before, how I was lacking so much in the stone setting, if they had that and a scope, the work would have been astronomically better and we could have seen it. As I said, we had no microscope back then. What we had to do was have 15 people gather around the bench and try to see what was going on. And if you didn't have great eyesight, well, you were kind of screwed. And if you don't have great eyesight to begin with, just being able to put it up on a monitor in general might help you. Some people do have that problem where they just don't have the hand-eye coordination. Things don't line up very well. I have found that working under a screen, being able to look at my phone on the Orion, particularly using the 3D print that I designed, which will be available on my printables for free, has helped in some situations quite a bit. Unfortunately, the Vevor eyepieces are a little bit bigger than the Orions. They've got like this little lip around the front, which is a little bit different. So I'm going to have to redesign the eyepiece for that phone case print, but I will update my printables when I have that available. Now, the last thing that I really want to talk about this scope before we sign out is that this scope can come bundled with this micro block and a pile of accessories. Now, the grand total for that, I believe, is like 506 Canadian dollars, or I think it's 350 USD. That is a phenomenal deal for anybody. You might disagree if you have GRS products that you're like, oh, these are just cheap imitations. But I'm actually really, really impressed with the quality that I'm getting here. I think my one thing that I don't like is that this is like way too cheap. This is just a piece of plastic. It's not rubber. It does slip around quite a bit. It would be nice if that was just a little bit more rubbery. Buying these two together does lower the price a little bit if you were to buy them separately. It's just a phenomenal deal that I can't say enough. Like, they're not even paying me to say that. I just can't articulate it well enough to you guys. So if you know that your work is going to be containing stones and you're currently working with an optivisor or less, I strongly recommend this. I personally prefer metal work, and I'm not really entranced by pretty stones, but one of my college teachers told us that if you can set stones, you can make money. Over the course of a weekend, I ended up making a set of piercings for Shannon, my partner, where I had never done this before. I actually went between the welder and the scope. I was able to weld on a couple of prongs because the stones were older stones. They didn't quite line up properly with my print, and I was able to fix it. I strongly recommend that if you're getting into jewelry, to assess your work and determine if stone setting or doing very finicky finishing and polishing under a microscope would be a good investment for you. At the 506 Canadian, 350 USD price point though, I feel like even if you're very likely to only be using this sometimes, at this price point, that is a much easier pill to swallow than, say, a GRS product. Which is a good segue into the big elephant in the room regarding GRS like a Meiji option. The keen-eyed amongst you might see this scope and say, well, that looks a lot like a Meiji. It's a Meiji lookalike. And much like the affordable Andu engraver videos that we've put out in the past, we received plenty of comments from loyal owners of another certain engraver brand, and they would love to share their opinions about how it's inferior and how it could not possibly be worth it and wasting your money on cheap tools and stuff like that. I do realize that this scope is not the best. Just realize though that this tool, this scope, this arm as you see it, is its current operation. This is it. It doesn't have a motor or many functional working parts or software that's about to break down. In this particular case, this is it, and I think it's very, very unlikely, considering the build quality, to just spontaneously fall apart. All I can do is reiterate that I am extremely happy with the performance of it so far, and I would wholeheartedly recommend it. This is a great price point, and I can't get over that. So if you're interested in the Vevor scope or the block vise combo, check out the link down below to pick one up. I'm very confident that you won't be disappointed. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching if you've gotten this far. I hope you found it informative, and we will see you guys in the next one.